Hello everyone, Jared here, back with another video on GamerSlice. It's been a while since I've last uploaded. I had, back in like late summer, my PS4 hard drive got corrupted and I was trying to recover that. Wasn't successful with that. So I lost a ton of video clips in that. That set me behind on some videos. Also, just I've been really busy with school recently, and then everything kind of just piled up and snowballed. So I haven't been able to get much done. But I thought I'd make this video on the Call of Duty World War II beta, which I played the private beta. I did not pre-order the game, so I didn't get personal access to it. I never played it during the public stage. At least, I think there was a public stage. But Diego had access to the beta, so I went over to his house, played it together. We kind of talked about it a bit. So the main point of this video, though, I'm going to share some of my thoughts on what I played in the beta. And keep in mind that all my critique is based off of approximately 2 hours of experience with the game across the various different game modes, but also upon many hours of prior experience with earlier Call of Duty games. But especially since the game's been out for about a week already, I mainly want to focus on War Mode and why I think it should be released standalone from the rest of the game. So as far as I know, the feedback for Call of Duty World War II has been quite astounding so far from, fans and non-fans alike. I liked my time that I spent in the beta, and the campaign sounds very intriguing to me. But from the beta itself, I thought the gameplay felt, very tight. Just like standard Call of Duty gameplay, it was very fluid and very responsive. They've got that nailed down really good. But there was the occasional lag spike, but for the most part, very responsive. I also liked the different ammo types that they added for some guns. Like, for example, you can have the incendiary shot for the shotgun, which was really helpful. I mean, sometimes you shoot an enemy and they don't die immediately. Now, that sounds weird, but then sometimes you'll get the burn effects on them and they'll burn to death with the incendiary shot. So I thought that was cool. There's other weapons that have that too. Aside of that, I don't know too much about the other weapon customization or character customization. So as far as game modes go, I want to take a quick look over here at the Call of Duty Wiki and take a look at some of the game modes. So as you can see here, this is War Mode, what I want to talk about, but the other game modes they have, most of them, there's 8 of them. Most of them are pretty standard, traditional Call of Duty game modes like Team Deathmatch, Dominion, Free for All, Gridiron, I'm not sure when it was added, but that's the one, kind of like Blitzball in Destiny, or maybe that's a Lawbreakers game mode, whatever. But anyways, you take the ball in the middle and try to score at an enemy goal. And then Search and Destroy, it's pretty standard. Hardpoint, that's been around for a few games. Capture the Flag, and then Kill Confirm. And the Mosh Pit, of course, is just the playlist of several assorted game modes. To me, these modes don't really feel any different than previous Call of Duties, and for the most part, its spawns are still really crappy in my opinion. And even outside of the terrible spawns that I often get in Call of Duty, I still haven't liked the general approach to the gameplay, where it's just straight up kill anything that moves type thing. Generally, the fights are not really too fast paced, but the engagements are very quick. There's not much strategy involved. It's just all about the twitch reflexes and stuff. So that's very much still there in most of these other game modes. However, they added War Mode in World War II, which is, I kind of find it funny that they don't list it under other game modes. They like have its own separate mode category for it. But I really like War Mode, and I would like to see them release it as a standalone. So with War Mode, right now, I did some research into it. There was only, at least during the private beta, don't know about the public beta, but there was only one map available at the time, and the match usually lasted anywhere from about 10 to 15 minutes. I think it almost might have been like capped out at 15 minutes. That's the maximum it could go. So they're much longer than normal Call of Duty, well, not much longer, but longer than traditional Call of Duty matches, but still very short in comparison to, say, your Battlefield games or more objective-based game modes. But they have 3 maps in the full game, which I think for the full game the way it is, 3 maps for this mode is fine. So each map, the reason I really like this is like we've had objective-based game modes in Call of Duty before. Many of them were like Sabotage or Search and Destroy. They're very standard. It's, pick up a bomb, go plant it here, and then it blow up. So there's objective-based game modes, but none of them were really original, or none of the maps were really designed from the ground up for that game mode. With War, the War maps are designed only for War. So that, I think, is really good. You're going to have superior map designs to pretty much any of the other Call of Duty maps for the most part. I mean, I'm concerned if they were to release it as a standalone thing. I think $15 to $20 would be a good price, but you know, they'd have to add a few more maps. So I think if they topped it off, got like an additional 3 maps just for this, and then of course released it along with headquarters, the headquarters, you know, where you can kind of get in the lobby, kind of a social zone, and then have all the other perks of that, meeting up with players, kind of getting into groups before you go into matches, maybe to try to... I just think for war mode, this especially works really well because you might have people that are more serious about winning the games in war modes and actually strategizing together. You know, there's been lots of talk also with Overwatch of having like a role queue system or something like that. So you could kind of incorporate similar aspects of a role queue system into this Call of Duty game. I mean, you can, even as it is right now, but I think it would be especially good if they released war mode standalone. But, you know, it has to come with headquarters as well, so you have that lobby experience, and the whole, you know, divisions aspect is just part of the customization and the way the game now functions now with the class system. So I think that those really synergize well together. So basically the point of that is war mode should not be hamstrung if they release it standalone. You should have all the bells and whistles and all the customization that the normal players have, but just be restricted to that game mode. Activision has done stuff like this before. Black Ops 3, if we'll take a look over here on Steam, Black Ops 3, as you can see, has a multiplayer starter pack that, based on here, it does say ranked multiplayer game mode. So I'm not sure, I mean, I guess ranked multiplayer game mode, those are for the people that are serious, but I would have imagined it has some sort of like a quick play system or something that's non-ranked. But I mean, maybe it is just a ranked mode, which is kind of weird, but it seems like it's the standard multiplayer package. Now, also, I haven't looked too much. It might be, I don't know what we got as far as review. Okay, oh, there's no reviews for that product. 3 curators have reviewed this product. That is very strange. Maybe nobody bought into it. But I honestly like this idea for, you know, people who are not big Call of Duty fans or going to be buying every game when it comes out. And I think $15 is a good price, unless it's just Team Deathmatch mode, in which case that's severely overpriced. But, you know, Rainbow Six Siege did a very similar thing with it. They've got a $15 starter pack. Of course, with that, they also have the operatives that you buy, so it's kind of like, yeah, we have to buy more stuff, and if you bought the game at $60 or whatever the current full price for it is, you're going to get all the operatives. Well, at least in that edition, because then they have the gold edition. So that's kind of a messy situation, but assuming in war mode they did not add any additional microtransactions and they just gave you, here's the mode, you have the same character progression that you would have if you bought the full game, but this is like just the only mode you have access to, I would be all for that. I would love it. I would buy it immediately. So I think $15, maybe even $20. I think $20 could be a bit high, but I think it's still fairly reasonable. And, you know, while they're at it, I would even like them to maybe consider releasing just the single player standalone as well, because I don't like the normal Call of Duty multiplayer, but if they release like single player standalone for $20 and then release this for $15, like, yeah, I would gladly give them $35 on my money to play that part of the game. And of course the same thing can be done with zombies as well. And real quick before wrapping up this video, I'd like to add 2 additional critiques about war mode. The first is, I think the building, being able to build turrets and build barricades and combine that with escorting the tank, really changes up the game mode. It makes it much more strategic. Really like that aspect of it. And it'll be really cool if they could even take that a step further with the additional maps I talked about adding and actually factor that into multiple pathways that you might be able to take when escorting the tank based on how the enemy sets up turret placement and barricades and such, or if they've set up an ambush or booby trapped the roadway. The second is a negative aspect of war mode, which concerns the 3 different stages of attacking, the A, B, and C stages. So say you're on the attacking team and you've captured point A and you're getting ready to proceed to point B. Well, at each point there's a playable region that you can play in. There's a middle zone that's shared by both attackers and defenders, and then there are sections restricted to each corresponding side, which for the attackers makes flanking impossible in almost every single instance, because if you try to flank, you'll go out of the zone and you'll automatically die in 5 seconds. Now, part of the reason they might have done this is because it made the map slightly imbalanced, but I mean, the main reason is just because they don't want people to spawn camp. But with smaller zones much closer around each spawn, and perhaps combined with better map design in some cases, they could alleviate this problem and still allow for flanking opportunities. So, let me know what you guys think on this, whether you would buy into it or not, or what other aspects of the game would you like to see released standalone, and would you like to see it released with other games. So that's just my opinion. Thank you guys for watching, and be sure to leave a like and a comment if you like the video, and maybe consider subscribing. So until next time, we hope to see you guys in the next video.
Retreating. 10 seconds left. Tank is backing up. Leave the enemy near the tank. The tank is retreating. Clear all enemies from the tank. Their tank is advancing. Get the soldiers around that tank. Their tank is pulling back. Leave the enemies near the tank. We've won. We held the enemy forces long enough for reinforcements to get here.